Elizabeth Wallace with PixelatedGeek.com at Comic-Con 2012, right in the middle of Comic-Con. And I have here with me Adam Warren. Now, many of you know Adam as the artist behind The Dirty Pair, but for the past few years, he's been working on a manga of his own creation, a long-running series about a sexy superhero named Empowered. So with 7 volumes, there's actually been a lot of stories so far, so it's tough to sum up, but how would you sum up Empowered?
Well, I mean, my short version of it is I refer to it as a sexy superhero comedy, except when it isn't. Sometimes it's not sexy, and sometimes there aren't superheroes, and sometimes it's not funny. So, but it's a series that allows for a lot of flexibility in tone and storytelling approach. And
the main character, she's not your typical superhero by any means.
No. She's kind of racked by insecurity and body image issues, and I mean, it's a bit on the nose, but the fact that she's a superheroine who loses her powers the more skin she shows was, very subtle symbolism on that one there. But that's proved kind of unexpectedly fun to deal with that kind of thing. So.
Well, her insecurities actually make her more approachable to people, I think.
That's kind of the intent. I like to think she's more relatable than some of the other kind of superhumans that that are kind of unapproachable icons of perfection and badassery. That I like to hope anyway that she's more relatable than your typical iconic superhero. So
there's also a real well-rounded cast of supporting characters as well, and we got a lot more backstory on the character Ninjette in this latest volume.
Yeah.
Is she going to be playing a more major role in I mean, she's had a major role before. Will she be playing a major role after this book?
Oh, yeah, she will. I mean, the next volume mainly kind of concentrates on Sister Spooky and Imp, so she gets kind of Spooky gets her moment in the sun, but Ninjette having a kind of major role is kind of always been the case. And I actually, even though this was supposed to be a volume kind of dealing with a lot of her, kind of trying to give her a lot of attention, that I only covered like a fraction of what I needed to cover with her. So she'll eventually have more focused on her down the road. So.
What would you say in Volume 7 was your favorite chapter to work on? I have my favorite chapter. I want to hear what your favorite chapter is.
Well, I have to say that it probably was the bathroom scene with Ninjette and the caged Demon Wolf, where the Demon Wolf kind of reveals how his perception is very different and very alien than the rest of the cast. And
Did it give you chills writing that scene? Because it gave me chills reading that scene.
A couple lines, actually. A couple lines did kind of get to me.
Now, we also got a little further into the story of a character whose name I can't say because half of it's always blacked out in the comic.
There's that.
So what caused you to take a major character and give her a name that you'd never be able to say out loud because half of it's a profanity?
It just, I mean, I never considered speaking the characters' names aloud. So I mean, actually, I came really close to renaming her Brainbow because she's a telepath. But my editor at the time, Samantha, convinced me not to do that because I was actually worried not about the profanity, but that it's a term that hasn't aged well. It was very popular in the 60s and 70s, and I wasn't sure if younger readers had even heard of it, but apparently it's not that big of a problem.
It's actually a great name. It's very striking, and you get so used to it, you forget that half of it is kind of blacked out.
Yeah.
Can you give us any tidbits about what we're going to be seeing in Volume 8? A little other than Sister Spooky and a little bit more of that?
Well, there's kind of a lot more of that, and it kind of resolves the spooky mind bleep, kind of resolves that plot thread with ringing finality for people that complained about me not resolving enough plot points fast enough, but it resolves that with some finality, I can say.
For more reviews and info and photos, make sure to check out PixelatedGeek.com. This is Elizabeth Wallace, talking with artist Adam Warren. Thanks for watching.